Hi, it's Drew Edwards here, coming to you live from the Make More Placements Facebook group. Again, if you're just tuning in, let me know if everything's working okay, just give me a like so I know it's good to go. I just wanted to do a quick live really to talk to you about 3 potential threats to your business as we move into what we call the new economy. So, and again, just to be clear, these threats have always been around. We're just predicting that, based on what we saw working with recruiters in 2007, 2008, and just historically looking at multiple different industries, these are threats that are going to be more of a concern going forward. That's not to say that there isn't ways to avoid them, isn't ways to protect yourself against them. So I want to talk about first what the threats are, but also more importantly, what you need to do as a business owner to protect yourself against them. Because obviously, as we're recording this, half the world's in lockdown. We're going through the COVID-19 pandemic, but chances are that even as we come through the other side, we're going to be in a recession. Again, this isn't sort of doom and gloom. Businesses, people are still hiring now. People will still hire in a recession, but it's very important that... So I had a call coming in. So just wanted to sort of go over what they are and then what you can do to protect yourself against them. So the first one is what we call spending reluctance. So what will happen is hiring managers will be more cautious about whether, not just hiring managers, people in general will be more cautious about where they spend their money. So again, we're seeing a lot of it now, but even as we come through the other side of this, if we do go into a recession, what happens is people cut back on essentials. And it's not that they won't be hiring, it's just that there's a lot more caution. There's a lot more consideration with where any investment goes. And that happens in businesses, also happens in people's personal lives as well. So what we're seeing is, or what we saw last time is, companies are they're still going to be recruiting, but they're only going to be recruiting essential team members. So people who are looking for candidates who are essential to either, the growth or, maybe even the survival of the business. And what we see disappear, or what we see simply not hiring or being more cautious of, is non-essential roles, right? And already we're seeing people, big companies, release people or make people redundant who are in non-essential roles, but they're keeping hold of the more essential employees, right? Again, same going to happen with buying patterns. They'll only be hiring essential employees, right? So we need to be aware of that. All that means for you as a business owner is that you need to look at your business right now and look at what the landscape might look like down the line. Are the roles you're recruiting for essential, right? So if you're recruiting for non-essential roles, and I mean essential not today, not last week, will they be essential in the future? If you're recruiting for non-essential roles, again, we have to, well, it's up to you, but my advice would be to look at that and change that and see if you can find more essential roles that you recruit for. Also, and again, this probably should have always been the case, but it wasn't. There's going to be more emphasis on quality. So even when companies are recruiting and they're looking for candidates, they only want to see the very best candidates, because again, they're going to be very reluctant about where they spend their money, where they release investment. Right, so that's the first one. The other one is price pressure. So as the landscape changes, what we'll see is a lot of the big companies will let consultants go. So again, it's happening already, but they'll let large numbers of consultants out into the marketplace. And with the smaller companies, the smaller firms, because of spending reluctance, they're less likely to hire, right? So it's not that they won't hire, again, it's just less likely, they're more cautious. So those two things combined, what it creates is almost like an abundance of skilled recruiters who have been let go from the companies they worked for previously, can't get a job at another firm because people are reluctant to bring people in, and what they had before, which was job security, has now disappeared, right? And there's lots of people who the only reason, lots of skilled recruiters who the only reason they haven't started a business up to this point is because of job security. Once that job security disappears, then, a lot of people are thinking, well, I may as well start a business. So what that creates is actually more competition, right? A lot of people think in a down market there's less competition because a lot of people go out of business, but actually it creates more competition because there's more, there's no real startup cost for starting a recruitment company. So people can enter the market easily. There's more people doing that. And what people tend to do when they're new to the industry is they try and then cut what your fees are right now, right? So all of a sudden we've got these hiring managers who are reluctant to spend anyway, and there's more people offering the same thing, and recruitment becomes, or your industry becomes, commoditized, right? There's people offering to do what looks like the same thing on the surface for less. So again, the shift that we need to make with that is, again, obviously, quality service and quality candidates is important, but also it becomes even more important to specialize. So, when I say specialize, I mean specialization in the actual industry you work in, but also in the role that you recruit for as well, right? Because if things aren't, if we look commoditized in any way, we have to deal with this price pressure as well. And the last sort of threat is cost of client acquisition. Again, because of spending reluctance, because of price pressure, most recruitment and search managers are having to work a lot harder to bring business through the door. So I don't know what activities you use at the moment to generate leads, win business, but let's say you use the telephone, let's say you use cold calling, for example. There's more competition, there's more spending reluctance. We have to make more calls. We have to work harder to actually win the business as well. So the cost of client acquisition goes up as well. And again, the solutions to all of these. So in terms of that one, what it really means is the skill of marketing becomes even more important, right? You can no longer sort of get by just being a good recruiter. You also need to be really, really good at business development. And essentially, people that don't make these shifts, so that if you're not recruiting in an essential role, you're not specialized and you're not good at marketing, will find it really difficult. But again, these are shifts that are relatively easy to make and relatively easy to make that adaptation. And what you need to be looking at is the future. So not necessarily now. What's the landscape in your industry going to look like in the future? And start at least thinking about and taking action on some of these changes today. So just wanted to share that with you. Again, if you need any help with this, either send me a private message, or if you head over to makemoreplacements.com/apply. We've been making personalised plans for recruitment search from owners for the last 2 weeks. So if you want that, just go to makemoreplacements.com/apply or send me a private message.